So, I should have had this video recorded like a few days ago, however, 3 things have happened. First thing, England has gone back into lockdown. Second thing, I bought myself a Nintendo Switch in order to combat this new lockdown. And 3, Animal Crossing has consumed my life. Hi friends, my name is Joel and welcome back to my booktube channel. If you've yet to check out my writing vlog, I would highly suggest you do so because I wrote a short story called The Boy and the Dragon throughout the month of October and I had so much fun writing it, and I've recently submitted it off to an anthology, so fingers crossed that I get accepted. And if you've yet to check out my Twitter nor my Bookstagram, I would highly recommend you go check those out as well because I post some extra bookish content that you're not gonna see here. So for today's video, I'm coming at you with my November TBR. Now, this is the month of NaNoWriMo and also the month where a lot of my assignments need to be worked on, so I've basically kind of dialed down a little bit of the books that I want to read this month. So this is more of an on my radar as opposed to books that I have to read. Given the video content that I have for this month, there's about 4 books that I have to read this month and then 3 books that I would like to read this month, but if I don't read them, that is completely fine. The first book on the list is The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon. This was one that I wanted to read in the month of October, however I just didn't get around to it because, like I mentioned, if I had enough time I would get around to this. But with the Mask Falling arcs coming out and me really wanting to know more about this series, I thought it'd be really good to just hopefully finally read it this month. I just think it's gonna be really good for me to just continue on with this series and continue on with the world of Paige and Warden. And if you've yet to read The Bone Season, I would highly recommend you go read that because it is just such a good read. The Bone Season follows Paige Mahoney, who lives in the Society of the Scions. They basically are a group that are against clairvoyance and their powers, and Paige, being a clairvoyant, she is naturally opposed to the Scion Society, and so she is part of the 7 Dials. In London, those who work together in order to get money and other spoils. And one night, Paige is then kidnapped and taken to Shale 1 in Oxford, the lost city of Oxford. Oxford has been taken over by the Rephaim, and they basically are rounding up clairvoyants for a different purpose. And so Paige is then given to Warden, one of the Rephaim, as a kind of servant towards Warden, and it's about Paige trying to survive within this new society whilst also battling kind of the urgent need to escape. And so I really liked it. I liked the magic system and the way that everything works. It works really well in the Bone Season and I cannot wait to see how it continues on with the Mime Order. I've been told I'll probably need the song Rising next, like right away. The nakedness continues in the Mime Order with this symbol, and I'm really liking how it's very cohesive across all of the books. The next book I'd then love to read is The Guinevere Deception by Kiersten White. This one came out last year, but I know the sequel, The Camelot Betrayal, is coming out in, actually, it's coming out in like 4 days or something, so I'm really excited. But like, this nakedness, it has a sword on it and a crown. Like, could this be any more me? Could this be any more my brand? It's just so amazing and I love it so much. Like, iconic, amazing, wow. And as someone who is basically also obsessed with Arthurian literature and Arthurian legends, and I'm working on like a middle grade story surrounding the Welsh side of Arthurian myth, I'm really excited to be reading this. I've heard a lot of good things about Kiersten White's writing, so I'm really excited to be checking out The Guinevere Deception. So this follows Princess Guinevere, who comes to Camelot in order to wed Arthur. However, not everything is as it seems, as Princess Guinevere is actually a changeling, someone who has been sent in by Merlin in order to protect Arthur, as there is lies and deceit within the royal court. And so Guinevere must navigate the court to weed out the dark seeds within Camelot, otherwise risk bringing evil to its very doorstep. It's really interesting that they've made Guinevere a changeling, and that whole dynamic between Guinevere and Arthur is now slightly changed by it, but I'm also really excited to be reintroduced to all of the iconic characters within Merlin and the iconic characters within the Arthurian legends, because like I literally just mentioned, I watch a lot of Merlin. Like, Merlin was my life when I was a kid, and so I'm really excited to see how Kiersten White kind of tackles the Arthurian myth in her novel and kind of see how she changes it and makes it her own. And so I'm really excited to kind of read this. I'm really excited to see all the swords and the action and stuff, and if I really do like it, I'm really looking forward to reading The Camelot Betrayal at some point. But yeah, the cover is also really gorgeous. I know OWLCRATE did an exclusive cover with like the green, I think it was green as opposed to this purple, which looks stunning. The Guinevere in my mind is always gonna be Angel Colby, because I don't know, every time I think of Guinevere I just think of a black woman, and so, but I'm gonna have to cope with the fact that this Guinevere is white. Or let's get on to my most anticipated read for this November. Well, one of my most anticipated reads for this November, but this came in through my doorstep, I think last week or the week before, and so I'm really excited to be reading it. I've been wanting to read this book for such a long time. The next book that I really want to read this month before it comes out on November 17th, 2020 is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. Now, oh my gosh, I've heard so many good things about this book because a lot of my friends have read it and a lot of my friends have said resounding amazing things about this book and how beautiful it is and how much they've suffered. And as someone who's like read The Poppy War, as someone who's read all the way to The Burning God, as someone who's suffered through the David Bard trilogy, I really seem to like to make myself suffer through these books, and I really seem to make myself suffer through all of the reading. So why not continue it with These Violent Delights? And I think along with all the other books I want to read this month, the suffering will only continue. These Violent Delights is a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in 1920s Shanghai, which follows the rivalry between the Scarlet Gang and the White Flowers, as Juliet Kai falls in love with Roman Montagov, and together they both kind of pursue this kind of enemies to lovers romance, I assume. However, there is a monster lurking in the shadows and it's slowly killing people, and I'm really excited to see kind of what this is all about, because there seems to be a little bit of magic within this, I feel like, maybe. So yeah, it's amazing. I cannot wait to read it. I'm tempted, if I do read this, to do a reading vlog of this and a few other books. I'm really excited for it. I cannot wait to read it. I can't wait to digest it. I cannot wait to just experience all of this. We have this series, because I'm doing a series reading vlog again this month. This series has been highly requested that I read for the longest time. A lot of people on Twitter want me to read it. A lot of people said I'll suffer. There's currently a read-along going on with this series at the moment. So the series that I'll be reading in question in the month of November is The Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee. And this includes Jade City and Jade War, and I'm just really excited to be reading both of them. These are the first two books in the series. Jade Legacy will be coming out next year in 2021, and so I really want to get a head up on the series before the last book comes out. But as you can kind of tell, these books look slightly different. This one is a matte print-on-demand copy of Jade City, whilst this one is the regular hardback with the glossy cover, and they're different. They're slightly different, but I'm fine for now. My friend Rhea gifted me this book. I'm really thankful that she sent me this hardback version, so I'm keeping it because it's something that she sent me and it's precious. But I think I might use this copy to like make annotations or something, and then I'll get like a proper like nice copy of Jade City later. But I think it'll be really cool to have like an annotated copy, or maybe I'll use this for something else, who knows. But I think it'll be really cool to just have a special kind of version of Jade City. But yeah, so I don't know a lot about this series, and I haven't really looked up a lot about this series. Like, I think it's gonna be best if because I find with a lot of like hyped up series, I think it's best if I go into it a bit blind. I know this is about the calls, because Shalea over at Shop Shalea, she's hosting a readathon of this called Keeping Up with the Calls, and I know this has a lot to do with the Jade, because Jade City, Jade War, and I think I saw something about like it has drugs and it's something to do with, it has a commentary on white people, I think, which will be really intriguing to read. I don't really want to know a lot about them because I like going into some series blind, and I think this is definitely one of the ones that I want to go into blind. If you wanted to look up a summary of Jade City and Jade War, I'll have them linked in the description down below. Yeah, I'm really intrigued by this series and I can't wait to record my thoughts in my reading vlog of it, but it just looks so stunning and amazing, so I cannot wait to record my reading vlog of this, and it's gonna be super cool. And especially like Jade War as well, I think it's just gonna be amazing to see kind of how everything is done. I need to stop because I will literally start this and this video will turn into a reading vlog, and I cannot handle that right now. But yeah, everyone has hyped up this series so much, and so I'm really, really excited to be reading it. I think it's just phenomenal to see a lot of different authors who are not white writing these amazing series that are getting a lot of hype and just showcasing a lot of spectacular talent as well. And so I'm really excited to get into this. So yeah, the next book that I'll then be reading is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This one is part of a book swap that I'm doing with Abby from Book Tropics. She'll be reading Raybearer by Jordan Ifueko, whilst I'll be reading one of her favourite books, The Night Circus. And I've never read this book before, and I know a lot of you are going to be like, oh my god, Joel, why haven't you read this in like such a long time? And I'm just like, it's just never intrigued me. Like, I just never felt the urge to read it right away, and like, it has blue sprayed edges, which is cute and stuff. But Abby was kind of like, you really need to read it, like, please read it. So that is what's happening. And I'm really excited to actually get into this and see if it is worth the hype and see if everyone was right that I should be reading this. Like, all I know is that it's about this traveling circus that opens at night, and it like follows two characters, I think, or one or two characters. Like, I don't really know much about this, but again, I think it's good that I'm going into it blind. And like, the blurb isn't really giving me much either. Like, it's just introducing two characters to me. At the behest of their shadowy masters, they find themselves locked in a deadly contest, forced to test the very limits of their imagination and of their love. Cool. Magical contest. I'm a big fan of those. So maybe it'll be great. I'm hoping so, because I'm hoping it's worth the hype. I'm really excited to read it, and I'm really excited to be talking with Abby about it in my book swap video. So I'll have an entire reading vlog of the Night Circus, followed by a discussion with Abby of both books. And so yeah, I'm really excited for this one. And finally, the last book that I have to read in the month of November is the November Late Night Book Club pick, and that is Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. Now, basically, I told Noelle and Elias that this was the book I wanted to read for the month of November, because I was like, one, it's a fantasy, and Noelle doesn't read much fantasy, but I really wanted to give her a fantasy to read, because I think one of the main aims of our book club is to kind of explore different genres together and see if we like them or not. But also at the same time, this was another read that I really wanted to read, because I've heard resounding things of Black Sun from my friend Rhea, from Mina, and a bunch of other people. And so I'm really excited by this. Also, it is Native American Heritage Month, and I really wanted to reflect that within the Late Night Book Club pick, and so I wanted to pick a book by a Native author. So yeah, I am really excited to be reading Black Sun. The cover just looks gorgeous. I'm really mesmerized by the nakedness as well, because like, it's this gold foiling on the like letters, and then it's just a plain black hardback on everything else, and it just works, and I really like it. Plus, I just noticed on the dust jacket there is blurbs from both S.A. Chakraborty and also R.F. Kuang, and both sing high praises about Rebecca Roanhorse's writing, and so that instantly sells me as well. And so yeah, this book just takes place in a pre-Columbian society. Right, this also has celestial prophecies, forbidden magic, and political intrigue, and those things are things that I like are in The Dream Prince, the novel that I'm writing. So I definitely think Black Sun will be a huge inspiration towards my novel, and so I think it'll be really good to read this. And yeah, I'm just hoping Noelle and Elias really like it as well. Like, I know Elias was quite excited to read Black Sun. Noelle hasn't read much fantasies, but I'm thinking hopefully she'll enjoy it, because she did want to read something like pre-Columbian or like anti-Columbian during this month. There's like a blend of everyone's interests. So yeah, and it says, a god will return when the earth and sky converge under the black sun. In the holy city of Tova, the winter solstice is usually a time for celebration and renewal. This year it coincides with a solar eclipse, a rare celestial event prescribed by the sun priest as an unbalancing of the world. Meanwhile, a ship launches from a distant city bound for Tova and sets to arrive on the solstice. The captain of the ship, Jala, is a disgraced teak whose song can calm the waters around her as easily as it can warp a man's mind. Her ship carries one passenger. Described as harmless, the passenger, Serapio, is a young man, blind, scarred, and cloaked in destiny. Ajala knows him well. Ajala well knows, when a man is described as harmless, he usually ends up being a villain. Which is right, because men are trash. Really excited to see where this goes. And it's 400-ish pages as well, so I think it's gonna be really cool to see and really cool to read. And I'm really excited to discuss this with Noelle and Elias on my channel later on in the month. Dates and times for our live show are to be confirmed, but I'm just really excited to be reading this. I'm really excited to be getting into another fantasy series. Although if this is really good, this is only book 1 of the series, so it means I'm gonna have to wait till books 2 and other books come out, because I don't know if this is gonna be a trilogy or not. But yeah, I'm just really excited to be delving into this. I'm really excited to be reading Rebecca Roanhorse for the first time, because I've never really read any of her other books, like Trail of Lightning and all of those. I'm hoping this is good. I'm hoping this is good. So yeah, Mina really enjoyed it, and Mina and I really have similar reading tastes. So yeah, I'm hoping. But yeah, last book is Black Sun. So yeah, those were basically all the books that I want to read in the month of November. I think there are quite a lot of strong books this month. That is going to be really great. I have like other books in mind that I might want to read this month, although one that I really do also have to read is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, because I have to reread it for an assignment, but I think I'm probably going to start that like late November and carry it into early December. But before I close off the video, I actually have some unboxings to do, because I moved to university and so I couldn't take any of the subscription boxes with me, and so they were mailed to my house, and then I had to go back home before Wales went into lockdown to grab these boxes and then come back so that I could have these with me so that I could do an unboxing. So I have the August and September FAIRYLOOT boxes. The October one is probably at my house at this point in time. Same with the October ILLUMICRATE and a bunch of other ILLUMICRATE packages that, like, I probably won't even be able to get the Poppy War one until December because I can't go home because we're in lockdown. So yeah. So I'm gonna start off with the August FAIRYLOOT box. And FAIRYLOOT is just amazing. I love them. They're coming out with a quartet set of An Ember in the Ashes, and my bank account is going to suffer, but I want that series because I need a hardcover set of that series. Like, I really still need to read book 3, but I really want a hardcover book of that series. But anyway, this is Let the Games Begin, and it just looks amazing. And the very first item I see upon opening this box is a liar and a... Oh! I dropped the book sleeve. Elias and Elias keep messing with my brain. We have Elia and Elias book sleeve, and this was actually made from monolime art. This is just really stunning and gorgeous, and I'm loving the way that they kind of look like saints on this, and it's just really gorgeous. Although I would have thought Lia would have had like darker skin. You know, this still looks really beautiful. I think I'll probably use this to keep like my Kindle or my iPad in, because I think it's roughly the same size as my iPad, so I could definitely do that. This could fit my Nintendo Switch actually, so maybe I'll use it for that until I actually get a proper case for it. And then next we have a Hunting Prince Dracula notebook made by Tarot Jar. This is just super beautiful, and I'm loving like the artwork on the inside as well. It's just got lined pages, and I'm one that hoards notebooks. Like, I think I have too many notebooks for my own good. Like, I just buy notebooks and then just don't use them at all, and I'm calling myself out. I'm just really stunned and amazed, and I think I'm just really stunned by like the design of this book. But yeah, I'm also really liking the quote that's on this, which reads, "Monsters are only as real as the stories that grant them life, and they only live for as long as we tell those tales." And it just looks super beautiful. And the Hunting Prince Dracula series has always been a series I've been really interested to read, but I've never really been getting round to reading it. And with everything that's been happening to the James Patterson imprint lately, I feel really bad for all of the authors involved, and so I think I'll definitely be picking up this series next year. I think I'm picking up the series to support Kerry Maniscalco and all of her work, and she's also just released Kingdom of the Wicked as well, so I can't wait to pick that up as well and read that. The next item, which has also been made by Tarot Jar, is this Mia and Mr. Kindly metal mark, and it looks really gorgeous, and it just, the artwork and the design and the swords are immaculate, and it just looks super gorgeous and really cool. The Nevernight series is again one that I've never really read, and one that I don't know if I'll ever read. I just love the look of this bookmark and just the pretty kitty. And then the next item is this Aurora Rising pin, which was made by Iron and Ink Designs. Like, this pin is super gorgeous as well, but I've never really read Aurora Rising either, so I guess I don't get like the context behind the quote. It's cute, I like it. Maybe one day I'll read Aurora Rising, but again, it probably wouldn't be until next year because I have a lot of other books. But I just think it looks super pretty, and it can go on my enamel pin display. Like, I just think it's gonna look really good on there as well, and yeah, it's gonna be pretty. And then again by Tarot Jar, I have this Scythe magnet. And again, Scythe by Neil Shusterman is one of those series that everyone has been recommending that I read. And so I definitely am going to be looking at reading the first book of this next year. Maybe I'll do a video where I like read the first book of people's hyped series and then seeing whether I want to continue on with that series or not. Maybe I could do that video in like January. Who knows? Maybe I will. But yeah, again, this magnet is just beautiful. I don't know where I'm gonna place it, but I'm placing it somewhere. And then I think these are the tarot cards for FAIRYLOOT for the month. And so we have Mia and Mr. Kindly. These are designed by Catherine Britt, and again, inspired by Nevernight by Jake Kristoff. The artwork is just stunning and amazing, and yeah, these are just really cute. So the next item from Little Heart Gifts is a golden egg bath bomb? I don't really know what book series this is from, but it smells like oatmeal, milk, and honey. And I don't really know what book series this is from, but it smells nice. And yeah, it's a golden egg. Maybe it's from the Jack and the Beanstalk because, you know, that golden thing gave birth to a golden egg. I love a Jack and the Beanstalk inspired item. And then finally we have the book, which is like wrapped in this really beautiful sleeve. And so it is, we have a letter with a print. We have this month's Fairy Scoop. We have a matching bookmark. that to match this month's theme. And finally, we have Star Daughter by SHOUTOUT, which has golden sprayed edges. It's the normal cover, but with golden sprayed edges. And it also comes with an exclusive print on the book jacket, which looks so beautiful, and I'm obsessed with it, and it looks amazing. And Star Daughter has just been receiving so much rave reviews from people, and so I'm really excited to be getting into it. This is now the second edition. No, this is now the third edition of Star Daughter I own. I own an arc of Star Daughter. I know OWLCRATE did a version of Star Daughter as well, which I received because I'm also a rep for them. And now I have this version of Star Daughter with the gold pages. So I really feel like the universe is telling me I should be reading Star Daughters soon. Maybe I'll read it in December. It's like to close off the year. But no, I'm really intrigued by it. And this basically follows Sheetal, who is like kind of half star, half human, I believe. And one night she accidentally burns her father with starfire, and only like a full star's blood can heal him. And so she ascends to the sky to meet kind of her star side of the family. Yeah, she's forced to enter as a human champion in this contest in order to try and like find a cure to her father's burns. And so it's really intriguing, and I'm really excited because, again, magical contest. So yeah, I'm really excited by this one. But yeah, that was everything in the August FAIRYLOOT box. So now let's move on to September's box, which is themed Under the Sea, which, as someone who kind of likes the Little Mermaid tale, and I'm really excited for the Little Mermaid remake, I'm just excited. And yeah, so let's get into it. So the very first item from FAIRYLOOT is these ombre metal straws, which look super gorgeous. They have two quotes. They have one that says "make waves," and then the other one that says "beach please," and I just find them both to be so funny. So yeah, and it comes with a brush cleaner as well. And then next there is a ceramic mug from To Kill a Kingdom. This is exclusive artwork by Gabriele Ragusi, which is amazing. And oh wow, this is beautiful. This is just stunning. And I just love the feel of the mug as well. There is a quote on the inside, and it's yellow on the inside as well, which is really nice to see. And the quote reads, "It's like holding a story rather than a person. She feels wild and infinite in my arms." I haven't read To Kill a Kingdom yet, but I've heard also really good things about it. Like, this is the thing. These boxes always remind me of books that I haven't read yet and I really need to read, but then I have all sorts of things I also need to read, so my TBR pile just keeps growing and growing and growing, and then I collapse under it and I die. And then next we have a hairbrush that was illustrated by Tara Jar. Oh, this actually feels kind of relaxing. And it's a detangling one too, which is amazing because, you know, I'm someone that get like my curls knot up all the time. I'm really happy that I have this now, so now I can get out all of my like knots and stuff. And then next we have the tarot cards of the month, which again are designed by Catherine Britt and are again inspired by Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. And then by Love You More Studio, we have this Poor Unfortunate Souls keychain, and it just looks amazing and it's designed super well. And the colouring is gorgeous. I just think it's really beautiful, and I cannot wait to have it on my keys. I don't know whether I'm going to have it for my uni keys or whether I'm going to have it for my home keys. I have no idea, but it's going to get used eventually, and I'm really happy with how it looks. And then again from Tarot Jar, I have this Atlantis postcard. Like, Atlantis is amazing, and I really want to know like more about Atlantis and kind of the mythology behind it. And so yeah, I'm going to use this one day, I think. I don't know where I'm going to use it or how I'm going to use it, but I'm going to use it, and it's going to be amazing. And then made by Ink and Wonder, we have this pouch that has a quote from Sarah Henning's Sea Witch. It's designed super well. And then the quote reads, "Don't grant all the princess requests, darling girl. Men are always asking for more than they should." And honestly, true. True indeed. And so yeah, this is just amazing and I really like it. The pouch is just massive. It has so much room within it, and it has like this soft touch on the inside, so you can definitely be ensured that it'll keep your items safe. I don't know what I'll use for it yet, although I might use it to transport all my skincare stuff because I don't actually have like a proper skincare pouch yet. And then finally we have the book of September. Again, we have the author letter with a print on the front. Then we have this month's fairy scoop, which is amazing. Then again, we have the bookmark that's matching the theme. And finally, the book of FAIRYLOOT September Under the Sea box is Fable by Adrienne Young. This cover is just so stunning. And I looked at the original Fable cover just now, and oh, like, I'm glad that we have this cover. I'm glad we have this cover because the other cover, yikes. But yeah, this has a beautiful, 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 like, cerulean stained edge, and it's just like sea blue. On the nakedness, it's literally just like a dark blue with a silver, no, it's not even silver, it's holographic. It's a holographic writing. Christine from Simply Nailogical would be very proud of the holographic writing on this. And so, as the daughter of the most powerful trader in the Narrows, the sea is the only home the 17-year-old Fable has ever known. It's been 4 years since her father abandoned her on a legendary island filled with thieves and little food. To survive, she must keep to herself, learn to trust no one, and rely on the unique skills her mother taught her. The only thing that keeps her going is the goal of getting off the island, finding her father, and demanding her rightful place between him and his crew. To do so, Fable enlists the help of a young trainer named West to get her off the island and across the Narrows to her father. But Fable soon finds out that West isn't who he seems. Together, they will have to survive much more than treacherous storms that haunt the Narrows if they're going to stay alive. And so this book seems really interesting and intriguing, and I'm just really excited to be reading it at some point. Again, the title is holographic on this as well, and this is just so stunning and amazing. I wonder if this is going to harken back to a lot of the Little Mermaid and a lot of the stories that are within that. And so I'm really excited to be reading this at some point, and just everything about this just seems beautiful. And yeah, that is everything with the FAIRYLOOT boxes. And FAIRYLOOT are just an amazing company that always kill the game with the content that they provide and the things that they put into their boxes, and I can really see the team work hard in order to curate themed boxes that match every book. And so I'm really, really happy to be working with them. And if you want to check out FAIRYLOOT, I'll have their link in the description down below for you to check out their wonderful boxes and hopefully subscribe to them. So yeah, those are the books that I want to read in the month of November, and those are some FAIRYLOOT unboxings as well. So yeah, that is everything. If you like, so yeah, I'm really, really excited to kind of see all of the things that I want to read during the month of November, and hopefully I'll be able to read at least the books that I have to read, because I need to do those videos this month, and then hopefully I'll be able to get to the other books as well. So yeah, I guess if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, be sure to click that subscribe button so that you're notified whenever I upload next. I'll have this week's Shout Out Fates linked in the description down below because I kind of haven't figured out who I'm giving it to yet, so yeah. But I'll have them linked in the description so that you can go check them out, and I'll have all my social media links in the description down below so that you can follow me on any other social media platforms, as well as I'll have my Ko-fi and my Amazon wish list there as well in case you want to donate any amount of money to help further support my Animal Crossing addiction and other Nintendo Switch games, and also my Amazon wishlist in case you wanted to donate any books to help grow my growing collection. And so yeah, I guess until the next video where I'll be recapping kind of the books that I read during the month of October, bye friends.